Hey, I'm Robert Rushing.
And I'm Joe Brown.
And we're
the Old Government Guys.
Old Government Guys is a podcast where we seek to highlight ordinary feds who do extraordinary things and shed light on and recognize your friends, family, and neighbors who comprise the government workforce. Often their work goes unnoticed, and we want to put a face on your fellow feds and share with you their stories and accomplishments in a fun and respectful way. Hello, I'm Robert Rushing, one of the Old Government Guys, a former federal employee with 28 years of service across the Air Force and the United States Department of Interior. My partner and I, Joe Brown, came up with this idea for the podcast because we wanted to highlight ordinary feds who do extraordinary things. Hey, Robert here, and I just wanted to give a little backstory on how JB and I met. So we started our federal careers at the same time, and we were both interns at McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey. And I remember meeting you because one of the first things I noticed was our orders. Like, remember my orders and your orders were all mixed up because they had me
my
as
name.
Yeah, they had me as the mechanical, and then they had you as a community planner.
Yeah, I remember that, but I wasn't a mechanical though.
Well, but what were you, civil?
Civil.
Yeah, so whatever, but it was like the orders were mixed up.
Yeah.
And we knew that, like, down at the Air Force Personnel Center, AFPC, that they must have processed those orders back to back. And it was just, it's one of those things where you can't make this stuff up. And I know that they were doing the best they can, kind of in a hurry to get those orders done. This is back in the day, the dinosaur days when orders were actually paper
and printed
typed
out.
up, printed out. That's right. And then so one of the things I like to recall about those early days at McGuire was, remember our pay was out of the central salary account. And so every 2 weeks we had to go over and fill out our time cards at the Civ Pay office.
By hand.
In paper, like every 2 weeks. And so all the interns on the base, we'd line up down the hallway, kind of wait your turn to do the time card. And then we also had to get in that same line every 2 weeks in the beginning to get our checks. Because it was like paper checks before they did the direct deposit. And so JB has been my lifelong friend through my government career. And this whole podcast came out of a conversation he and I were having where we're just talking about all the amazing people that we work with and the accomplishments they do. And very often throughout our careers, people would be recognized with awards and citations and letters of appreciation.
Yeah.
But all of those, as they get presented, are usually presented in a conference room, like with your peers, and those accomplishments never leave the door.
Right.
And I said, man, JB, that's a great idea, because it was your idea.
Yeah, I remember it. But we thought about it, and I think the biggest thing was just we wanted to get people recognition and stuff like that because we just saw that, there was a public opinion as far as how government people were portrayed or how they were just talked about in general. And it's just not that way.
A lot of negativity.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just like any organization, you've got some people that are high performers and some people that maybe you're kind of like, I don't know.
Not quite high performers.
But I'll be honest with you. I would say easily 85-90% of the people I've worked with in my career are outstanding Americans. And they lay it on the line every day.
Every day.
And I think it's their story that we want to get out. And so as we start scheduling folks and we interview them, my goal through this whole podcast kind of journey is it's not about you and me. It's about sharing the stories of the folks who really make the federal government work. And then helping folks who really don't understand what feds do get a better idea of the mission, because
Exactly.
there's a lot that goes on that, people just don't know about. So we just want to share some fun facts and interesting things that we pick up along the way, or, that will accumulate in a couple, over time as we do the show. So,
Absolutely. Cool. Well, let's get started.
all right. And so that's just a quick intro. We'll have some more stuff as we get around to it, but yeah, this is just a target of opportunity, as we say, with the Air Force. And, we're down here, a chance to meet in person, and I'll be reaching out, and I've already got some folks that have sent me like, hey, we heard you're going to do this. And we've got some folks lined up, and we're going to get their stories. And I hope you come with us on this journey, because it's just so important. I mean, feds aren't some group of people, sequestered away in some special community. We're your neighbors and your family members, and, good Americans who just do the best they can to further the mission of the federal government and to give the taxpayers, a return on their investment. So we look forward to taking this journey together.
Hey, let's do it.
Let's do it. Government Guys is a podcast where we seek to highlight ordinary feds who do extraordinary things and shed light on and recognize your friends, family, and neighbors who comprise the government workforce. Often their work goes unnoticed, and we want to put a face on your fellow feds and share with you their stories and accomplishments in a fun and respectful way. And there you have it. We just wrapped up another episode of The Old Government Guys, a Rapid Point Studio production. We're always on the lookout for new folks to highlight, so if you know someone who deserves to be recognized, let us know. And if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for the show, we'd love to hear from you. Please reach out and send us a note at ogg@rapidpointstudio.com.